back and do the Love Island theme intro since that's back on.
Love Island, eh? I feel like
Yeah.
there's been a whole lot of spin-off like reality shows based off the same premise.
Oh yeah.
I'd agree. But this is the real like the USA one, which is funny because they also air the UK one at the same time. So I don't. That sounds like a lot of work, but I guess they do that together. But yeah, I'll be tuning in. The first episode was last night. 104 minutes of content.
Shoot.
It's just so interesting. I mean, it's terrible, but it's so interesting. That's all I'll say. But maybe yeah, you guys need to just hop on it.
Dude, my wife's got me on Overboard, I think it's called, or Walk the Plank or something like that. Have you guys seen that one?
It's a reality show.
Yeah, it's kind of same premise as Love Island,
Oh,
but
it's
they're on
Alex,
a yacht the whole time.
it's Alex Cooper, right? The
Alex
host.
Cooper.
It's the blonde.
Is she Asian?
Oh no, never mind. Okay, no, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Love Overboard.
Yes, I think that's what it is.
So I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Yeah, essentially, there's like they've almost like created like a class system on the yacht. So people who who get
That
voted
sounds
off, they have
crazy.
to like go to the very base layer and like clean toilets and stuff. like,
Well, that's interesting. Punishment for some reason,
yes,
but all in the name of clout, right?
yep, exactly.
Awesome. Well, speaking of clout, I'm joking. I don't think there's no trend going on, but I did see about the Backrooms movie, just like a lot of content, a lot of TikTok videos complaining about the audience. But Josh says that his was perfectly fine. So let's hear a little bit about your experience, Josh.
Yeah, so I went to go see the Backrooms on the Friday that it came out, opening weekend. And I had tickets to a 10 o'clock show, which is usually a pretty late show. Usually you can expect to go to the movies that late and have it not be too crowded. Although when I went to go see Obsession, I saw a late show at the same time midweek and it was packed. And same thing with Backrooms, went there 10 o'clock. The whole, you know, the whole lobby, main area section, concession stand, packed. Line up to the door for popcorn. And me and Robbie were like, oh my goodness, yo, what? This is crazy. Like, we got there like somewhat early, but still we had to wait. We were probably waiting in line for 15 minutes at least for our popcorn. So it was packed and it was all teenagers. And then we get to our theater. It's a big theater for Backrooms. And it was packed, like all teenagers too. And we were like, yo, this is crazy. Like this is all teenagers here. I feel like we're the oldest ones here. They had, well, actually one of the Cineplex employees, I've gotten to know her a little bit over the past year and she's one of my favorites. She's really nice, but she was there like, you know, escorting people like, oh, do you know like how to get to your seat? Like, and she was kind of there watching over us for like the first 20 minutes, kind of making sure that everyone was like being good and like escorting people to that were coming in late. So that was really nice that we received that. But yeah, once the movie started, everyone was locked in. We were a couple rows up, so it was funny because I could just see kind of like the outlines of all the broccoli heads. But yeah, like right up front row, you know, it was packed, sold out theater, and it was good. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself.
Shoot.
Yeah, I guess a few comments on like first of all, why do kids have this haircut? I don't quite get it. I can respect the mullet, you know what I mean, but they on purposely are making like mushroom tops or broccoli
Yeah,
heads as we call
I
it.
know.
Coconut head to an extent,
Yeah.
like in Ned's Declassified. But then your comment on just how packed the theater was. I mean, I've never heard of it being as packed as that since Avengers days,
I know. I was
like
saying that to Robbie.
2012 Avengers days. So
Yeah, it's good to
that's
see
like,
though, and it's nice to see the young generation. Yeah, I feel like just the internet hype and the lore for this movie is, I think, what really caught a lot of people's attention, and more so, like I didn't know too much about the Backrooms leading up to this. I knew there was a bunch of internet lore, and I didn't even know that Kane Parsons he just made a short film based off this phenomenon. And so he didn't even create or anything. He just kind of turned it into like a little mini YouTube series on YouTube. And that's what got the attention of A24. But yeah, like when I suggested this to Robbie to go see, he was like, "Oh, Backrooms, yeah." Like he's been following the Backrooms lore for years, like since it started. And so he was very, very well versed and knowledgeable with like all the theories and whatnot. So it was kind of nice going into this movie with him and his knowledge and that, and to hear his thoughts and his opinions.
For those of us who don't know what the Backrooms lore is, are you one of you able to give us a little detail? I have no idea what this is.
Josh might know more than me because I think I mentioned it to him or even in the group chat. Just like all I know about it is that I would come across TikTok videos where people are just screaming and running throughout like just what seems to be infinite hallways. So Josh, having seen the movie, probably has a better idea for sure now.
You know, I'm gonna quote this right from the movie, but Renee, that Norwegian actress, you know, she says, explaining this is like explaining a dog to someone who doesn't know what a dog is. It's just, it is difficult because the Backrooms isn't even like this physical place. It's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like this place that exists in our conscience almost. Because so they describe it. You know what like clipping is or unclipping in video games?
Not really. Actually,
It's essentially
no.
if you go in like a wall or some corner and you can kind of glitch out and you kind of go into the wall. Maybe you
Right.
can like slip under and you can see like the entire map from underneath. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so they just use that as a term to describe falling into the Backrooms, because I don't know if you've seen the original short film that Kane Parsons made. It's like 9 minutes on YouTube. I actually watched it at like 5:30 in the morning before the day of going to the movies, before my run.
Nice.
And they say if you're not careful, you can accidentally slip and fall into the Backrooms. And how it starts is he falls through this crack essentially, and there's like a transition. Then all of a sudden he's in this space that's like luminous space and yellowy like fluorescent lighting, and it's essentially like this guy, this furniture store owner, and it's a furniture store because the original picture of the Backrooms was supposedly, people think it was taken in a furniture store. But yeah, you pretty much, the reason why the Backrooms feels like so infinite is because it learns and it grows based off like your conscience and your memories, and it makes like these clones of yourselves, of kind of your psyche. And it just, I think it's more so just used as like a metaphor for like trauma and whatnot, just like how you deal with trauma. And it's I don't know, it's pretty deep. Honestly, I might have to watch this movie again to get something else out of it. But it's like, I feel like there's a lot more to this movie than meets the eye, because people are watching this movie and they're actually like trashing on it. They're saying like it didn't live up to expectations, which I could see. I don't know, like Robbie, I was talking with Robbie and he's like, yeah, I guess I was expecting a little bit more. I would say probably the script is maybe the weakest part of this movie. Like technically everything else in this movie was like amazing. Cinematography, color grading, like just acting, editing, like everything just looked beautiful and on point. Honestly, I think it's more so just based off like how you feel, like how does this movie make you feel. And there was definitely some scary parts. Yeah, I don't know, like, do you guys have any questions? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of curious how you feel as though this measures up to Obsession, because I think those are kind of the two tight competitors right now. Would you say that it's like Backrooms is so different a story that you can't compare them, or would you say that they're, I don't know, they're on equal ground?
Yeah, I would say the theory and idea of Backrooms is so much more different than Obsession, but I would say as far as like a movie goes, and more so for the general populace, I think Obsession is the better movie. And people that I've talked with as well, they also agree that they loved Obsession more. I think Obsession is just, you know, there's no lulls. It's very snappy. You're locked in. You're engaged the entire film. This movie, I think, was a little slow at times, I feel like. Um, and because you don't really, maybe like there's not so much background information on these characters, it's kind of hard to sort of root for them or be attached to them or follow them in any way. So, yeah, I would say Obsession objectively is probably the better film, but you know, Backrooms still smashed opening weekend. A24 is number one grossing movie opening weekend, which is super impressive. So Gen Z coming out to support Gen Z, you know?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit difficult for it to be released at the same time as Obsession, which is hilarious because you would think, like, I don't know what the expectations were for the theatrical release of Obsession. It surely wasn't what it's turned out to be, but like now that it was released at the same time as so many other horror movies, because not only is it Backrooms being compared to it, Hokum has also been compared to it, and some people, I haven't seen very many positive reviews, honestly. A lot of people seem maybe more disappointed with Hokum now after the release of all these movies. That Passenger movie, again, was apparently just really not good. So I heard, yeah, it was Backrooms is a decent horror movie from what I've heard, but it's kind of incomparable. I mean, as we talked about, Obsession is probably going to be one of the standout horror films of this decade. I don't know. I wouldn't say century just yet, but definitely grabbed and like created a phenomenon, more so than the Backrooms movie, which I think the creators of the Backrooms movie probably were expecting a bit more, besides just financials. They were expecting maybe just a bit more from the audience. But as Josh said, I have also seen that people were a bit upset about it. I know some people are trashing those people by saying, I mean, just because it's not like brain rotty, moving very quickly, that sort of style, like it's not very immediate from what I understand. So when I do watch it, I'll watch it and review it, you know, fairly, I suppose. But yeah, I can see that it's a bit of a hard comparison because such is just such lightning in a bottle sort of thing at this point.
Yeah, two very different movies, but both good in their own ways. So I would still recommend Backrooms. Like, I don't know if you've seen Severance, but it's kind of the same vibe, and I love it.
I do love Severance.
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to check Letterboxd lately, but I know, Josh, you watched Hokum because you told us last week.
Yeah.
But Daniel, have you had the opportunity to watch Hokum?
No, I have not. I don't think it's on digital, and then either way, I would wait till it's streaming. Backrooms
Right.
has a 3.4, by the way, right now, with most people giving it a 4-star.
Yeah, what's actually Rotten Tomatoes? Because I knew critic score was around 88. I think I'm curious to see what the audience has been rating it.
Yeah, I think fans of the thing, it's depending, but I've honestly heard that more fans of the Backrooms lore and stuff weren't as appeased, as you mentioned with Robbie as well. Let's see. It has a 7.1 on IMDb, which is pretty good. Anything that's in the 7 range is honestly pretty well reviewed. And it is a 74% on the popcorn meter, 89% on the critic score. Oops, my dog's here. But yeah, that's what I see about the movie.
Yeah, no, I was really excited to see this Backrooms movie, and there was this guy sitting beside me, and he had his little kid sitting beside him. And I'm telling you, this kid must have been like 8 years old, 9 years old tops. I'm not even kidding. And there was some pretty brutal, gruesome scenes, and I was like, I could see the guy beside me like kind of looking over and like trying to like, you know, like protect his son. It's like, man, like, why would you think it's a good idea to bring your little 8 or 9-year-old son to a horror film?
Dude, you got to start him off young, man. Michaela's grandparents are addicted to horror movies, and they've been watching like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that with her since she was young.
Oh wow,
Dude,
that's awesome.
is she even that into horror though? I thought you said that she's like not that into it, or not as much as you.
She doesn't like watch horror alone, but like she really like anytime I mention a horror movie, that's what she's most excited about, I would say, of all the films that I choose. So yeah, I don't know. It's just scared to be alone kind of thing. Watch it alone.
Yeah. Drawing a blank, but I remember the question. I was gonna ask, in terms of like the way the violence is displayed, what would you compare it to? Because did it have like a cool, different style, like almost like a 28 years later, or it's kind of just
Yeah, you know what? The one scene I would compare it exactly to 28 years later, or the Bone Temple, and I'm sure you know the scene I'm talking about.
brutal.
Now, given it's not as intense as the Bone Temple, but it's pretty much the same thing, in a way.
Okay. You haven't seen the Bone Temple, right?
There's some
Drayden?
scalping going on.
Yikes.
Is that the last of the series?
Well, the last one that's come out.
Yeah, it's technically the second
Yeah.
movie of a trilogy, but yeah, it's the most recent 28 years later movie.
No,
Not the
I
one we
haven't seen
reviewed.
that one yet.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on Crave now though. It's on Crave now, so you should give it a watch, man.
I think I'm gonna watch it on the plane ride home, to be honest. Or is it one of those movies where you need a big screen?
I mean,
Everything's better on a bigger
everything's
screen.
better.
Like,
Yeah.
like this, I would personally, I would watch this movie on your TV. There's some pretty nice. There's some pretty cool shots and scenes in that movie.
I would say it's a good plane movie, though.
You know what movie you should watch on the plane? Crazy Rich Asians.
Dude, I saw your rating for that, man. You rated that high.
It's a good rom-com. You know, Sarah, she has been dying to watch this movie with me. Like, she's always mentioned, can we watch Crazy Rich Asians? Can we watch Crazy Rich Asians? And she loves it. It's one of her favorite movies. And I saw you gave it a 2.5, which I thought was funny.
Wait, Drayden gave it that?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. You know, I did enjoy myself. Yeah, it is a little like pretty by the book formula rom-com kind of thing, but you know, I found myself laughing quite a bit throughout it.
Do you think Sarah's enthusiasm gave it an extra star?
Probably, yeah. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. Every time I would leave the room for like, I was barbecuing burgers at the same time, so it was like, out the room for a split second, pause it. She would pause it, like she would pause it, everything for me, just to make sure I didn't miss a single thing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Fun fact, did you know that's the same director as the Wicked movies?
Yep, John Chu.
So, like, there's a through line with what your wife enjoys, and it seems to be John M. Chu movies.
Well, what other ones? You think she likes Wicked?
Doesn't she like Wicked?
Doesn't she love it? Yeah.
She did. She wanted to see them with me for sure, but she wasn't crazy about the newest one. She thought it wasn't that good. And even the first one, she's like, they could have made that into one movie. Like, how are we only halfway through the story? You know?
That's what I thought too, for sure. But I guess touching on Crazy Rich Asians as a fun little like surprise, no one knew we would talk about this today. It is a pretty good movie in my opinion. I'd love to know maybe what Drayden thinks or like what holds it back. I think, yeah, for what it is, it's pretty solid. Themes of something I'm not aware of, which I'm sure exists, is like the dynamic of rich Asian families, I suppose, and their expectations. And even in the Apple TV show, sorry, Your Friends and Neighbors, his friend Barney, that's a part of his life where he's rich, but his wife's family is even more rich, so they view him as lesser than. So, yeah, you need to be like infinite levels of rich in order to be a part of these families, and I think there's some good jokes in there, and the wedding scene is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, that wedding is.
Yeah, that's what Sarah said. She's like,
insane.
This wedding is amazing.
Yeah, that sticks with me. I remember that more than anything. And then Michelle Yeoh
Yeah,
is
Michelle
in it,
Yeoh
right?
was good.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just like not my kind of movie. You know, I like the small little stories, whereas this was like like blown up on the largest scale you can go, essentially. And it was just like advocating for materialism to the max, which is fine, but like it's not my kind of story. I prefer the kind of indie international films if I am gonna watch some international films.
Oh, I was gonna say how, I mean, if you notice, a lot of the Asian, like even here in Canada, like a Chinese person typically marries a Chinese person,
Yes,
and that
that is
goes, I think,
typically what they do.
yeah, that typically goes along as well. Like Filipinos tend to marry Filipinos, or Japanese or Vietnamese, all the different cultures we have here.
What's it like in Calgary, Dre? Because I know in Toronto and GTA here, like North York, Richmond Hill, Markham, just very like Asians everywhere. Tons of rich Asians, and so definitely feels more kind of like the vibe. Maybe we're just more acclimatized to it here. I don't know.
Like acclimatized to Asians.
Yeah, and like their culture.
We do have like a Chinatown and everything like that. But I think the rich people in Calgary are actually Indians. Like basically all North Calgary is run by Indians, and they're the ones with like the biggest houses. And I was talking to my sister, and she was saying that like her school bus would actually go pick up some of them from the house, and there's like 6 or 7 families in these huge, ginormous mansions. So I think that's like a cultural thing also. But I wouldn't say I necessarily see many Asians here in Calgary.
Hmm. I would say it's deceiving that it's money, like they have a lot of money, because if you're putting 6 or 7, you're putting like 3 families together, like 4 families in a big house. I mean, it aligns with their culture just because that's how they would live. Like your family, and I even see that in Trinidad where there's a lot of Indian influence. Uh, it's like everyone stays within the same neighborhood, or the house just gets built to be bigger so that you can fit in your son's family, your brother's family. So like they might live, I mean, that's interesting. I'm sure they do have money, but like living, if you're putting multiple families in there, of course they can probably afford whatever mortgage it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think they like it like that though. Like I think
Mhm.
they all really enjoy sharing the home together. It's like a really communal kind of feel, and yeah, I it definitely probably would be easy on the bills.
Yeah, it's just part of their culture. Like that's, and we see that, yeah, in a lot of Ontario, frankly. So
Yep.
yeah, though I would say Newmarket isn't so. They've stayed away from Newmarket.
The Indians?
Yeah,
Yeah, Newmarket's also pretty Asian
yeah, I'd say
populated.
there's more like
Yeah.
Chinese and like
Yeah.
even Arabs more so.
Lots of Iranians and Farsi. Lots of people speak Farsi here, and yeah, Asians. Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say though, when I was in Vancouver, most Asians I've ever seen. Like I
Yeah.
was living in Richmond and I walked
Oh
into a
yeah,
grocery
Richmond especially.
store. Yeah, I was the only white person in there. I was like, holy smokes! Like it was kind of it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Richmond, 100%. Because I've been there too. Fully covered already. Well, we wanted to make this a shorter one, so I'll touch very quickly, if it's okay, on Euphoria season 3, because I think I'm the only one that saw all of it.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
think we're on episode 4 still.
Oh well, I mean, what do you think so far? Before I guess I dive into, I won't spoil anything then, but
Well, who's the guy that made the music for the first 2 seasons again? What's his
it's
name?
Labyrinth. Yeah.
Labyrinth. Yeah, so Michaela, she was talking to me the like 2 days ago, and she was like, I don't like how they kick Labyrinth out. Like I've been listening to his music all day, and it just like that's what Euphoria is. That's what I think of when I think of Euphoria as the music. So I think she is very unsettled on this huge, I guess, Hans Zimmer music change. And I would say it also doesn't necessarily have the same feel that I kind of came to love in the first 2 seasons. And I don't like how they blew up everything in all of these scenarios. I mean, it is an interesting like setting that they're working with all of this sex dealing, like I don't know what you call it, like the sex club. What is it called?
A strip club
Yeah,
or
yeah,
OnlyFans
the
or
strip club. Yeah, and all of this drug trafficking. I think it's like an interesting thing, but I feel as though it just doesn't fit. The first two seasons doesn't build off nicely.
no, and I would agree. So the music for one is a huge miss, and it's just because the show feels entirely different. I don't know why he came into writing this season and thinking I'm just gonna totally like if it could be very well a spin-off series at this point. Like this last
Yeah,
season is just totally unrelated to the first two, and it's to the point where the characters as well are just totally not even, besides maybe Rue, honestly, a lot of them are so different from what they were in the first two seasons. Like I know Sydney Sweeney and Cassie, whatever, she's dumb, right? But it's almost to the point where it's like annoyingly like, okay, she doesn't need to be this dumb. Like you didn't have to write her
yeah.
to be that dumb. Nate Jacobs is neutered entirely, and you'll see that as it goes on. Jules as well. Just I think what you'll see is just that it doesn't really lead anywhere. Like all these ideas, because I assumed there would be a lesson learned with OnlyFans, strip clubs, drug trafficking. But if I'm honest, yeah, like kind of roads that lead to nowhere almost. So I would just say, yeah, I thought it was a huge disappointment. Not that season two was very good either, in my opinion. I think season one is probably the only one that, and for good reason, that's why everyone was so excited for season two, that really stood out. But the whole show is just not even about what it used to be about. And you can argue, I think there's trying to be arguments about like it being a Western because the show has always been sort of about the American side of things. And but like it just seems so different from the original show that it's hard to really connect with it. I mean, it kind of just becomes more of an action epic rather than whatever the show used to be, which it was not that.
Yeah, and I'm almost curious if this show will have the same paradox as 13 Reasons Why, where they were attempting to advocate against suicide, but it led to increased rates. Because I almost feel like Euphoria, in some ways, kind of like romanticizes drug use. Would you say the same?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Romanticized the OnlyFans dream as well.
Yeah, sure.
Because it is true. A lot of so I thought he was introducing true topics. Like this is true what he's showing, but it is a bit like fetishy some of the things that were shown. Like I think you could have a simple OnlyFans sort of setup, but you had Sydney Sweeney doing like fetish work essentially for a lot of it. But yeah, just a lot of ideas shown, but nothing that really is taught in the end. And that's what you could argue. Yeah, maybe it is saying like, hey, this is what people do, and this is what happens in the United States of America, and drug trafficking happens, and sometimes you just got to do it, and then you got to, yeah, just I don't know. That's all I could say. There's nothing to hold on to at the very end. They tried getting a bit sentimental, and you'll see that in the finale, but it's kind of like a very nothing feeling. It just left me and my wife going like, wow, this is terrible. In our opinion, at least. But I know a lot of people are disappointed.
Well, I don't know if I'm necessarily excited to finish the season, to be honest. Like, I haven't had any drive, whereas in the last two seasons, like, Michaela and I, we sat down and basically binged it. But on this one, we've almost completely forgot that it's even a show, like, which is kind of sad, to be honest.
Like, we looked forward to it because that was a whole feeling of on Sundays, the HBO show that we like will come out with an episode. Whether that would have been Succession when Succession was coming out for me. I know a lot of people liked Barry, which I haven't watched yet. That was Bill Hader. But this is one of them where as well Sundays everyone was talking about it. So for that reason, I think it drove us to just see how it concludes. Because me and my wife, like when we started dating, we were watching season 2, kind of together, or at least talking about it. And yeah, just besides the fact that Zendaya gives like a great performance, and there are great performances as well. I mean, the Alamo character, he's great at what he does, but again, it's like, did we really sign up to watch this like Western, this Western thing play out? Like, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so odd. There's so many avenues or opportunities where Sam Levinson or whoever wrote it could have made interesting choices, but in the end, yeah, it's like a lot of people are comparing it to sort of him wanting to be like Tarantino or something like that. Just constantly brutal or action, or just it's very out there, which the first few seasons are too. But again, because of the music, it feels different when it's in this sort of scenario. It's like, is he wanting to do a Django Unchained sort of thing? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it
interesting.
honestly feels like a Snitch, like Dwayne Johnson's drug trafficking movie.
I've seen that.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, so I'd say entertaining for a while, but nothing of substance,
Right.
which kind of just reflects badly on it, for sure. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, we'll talk more in depth once you finish it. Then I can share my thoughts on like certain arcs or the lack of arcs. But excellent. Is there anything else we wanted to chat about in terms of time?
I think that's mostly
Nope.
everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to a bit of a shorter episode, but we'll surely be able to deliver on more content in the upcoming weeks. Please make sure to listen, number one, Spotify, Apple, YouTube as well. We're trying to work on getting videos out so you can actually watch what we do, which might not be all that interesting, but hopefully you'd enjoy it. Also, every now and then some social media stuff, and maybe I'll get back on the train of actually posting like what movie we're going to review or stuff like that, just to enhance the experience. But thank you for those that as well have been liking the content. It's really great. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts as well. Cinema.uncivilized or Cinema Uncivilized. And leave comments as well. Any recommendations, feel free to ask.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
See ya.